Okay, right. Is it working? Is it working? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. ABC. 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 1, 2, 3. Okay. 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 CSC. CSC. CSC.
Okay then. There we go. Okay.
All right.
There we go.
Okay.
Let me turn you up. Let me turn you up. Let me turn you up. Let's see. Can you try talking real quick so I can make sure I've got...
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
That is a good volume. And
Awesome.
once Aeon joins us, I'll make sure his volume's all right too. All right then. I think we're good, so we can just kind of warm up. Maybe
Let me change the weather.
yeah, if you could have it be daytime as well, and is it still in creative mode?
Yeah.
I think you could probably take it off of. Wait, never mind. Let me get some more stacks of iron and such. Well, hopefully this is everything we need. Actually, I am going to just get some wood. Wait, can you just put some wood in the in one of the chests? Just the wood blocks.
Like wood planks or wood logs?
Planks or logs, doesn't really matter.
There. I mean this one right here.
How do you split a stack? No, it's a right click. I got it.
Mm.
And you can take it off creative mode.
Now?
Yeah, I'm ready. I made us some shovels. Because we're going to need shovels. We're about 2 minutes out, by the way.
Okay.
Shovels are in the last chest on the right.
Right.
Wanna wait a second? Because I'm gonna introduce the episode.
All right. Yeah.
And then oh yeah, I guess we'll have enough dirt blocks. So we can talk a little bit about the design we're doing. But I think like how many blocks down, how many blocks high do you think we should make it? Like 5 or 6?
Like the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 or 6. Yeah.
It might be good to round out the edges here. So you see how this kind of comes inwards? So if we could just kind of bridge this, so because you'll be able to see the wall. Not that that's a bad thing, but if we wanted to make it more island-like,
we'll have to flatten down a couple of layers deeper. It shouldn't be too hard, and then it'll be more flat, and then we'll have to fill in less as well. So
nice. Well, I'm
maybe
sure
down to this layer down here, like this one. If we flatten it down to here at least, then like this will be the edge, you know?
Yeah. So I think 5. Or wait, how many high does it need to be to block a mob? Only 2, right?
Yeah, because they can only you can even use a fence to block them. It's 1.5. But yeah, 2.
Why don't we just
spiders can climb?
Right. We'll just have to deal with spiders.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why don't we just make it 3 tall then? Or maybe 4.
Okay.
We'll think about it. Once we start doing 3, we'll see how 3 looks. Anyway, by the way, it just started raining. So it is 12 o'clock in California, where I, Socratic Duck, am from. This California place. And it is 3 p.m. Oh, it's 12 p.m. in California. It is 3 p.m. in New York, where Cicada is from. And that's New York State, not New York City. There's a state that surrounds the city, but the city is very famous.
Yes.
So CicadaSound is the special guest star today. Additionally, we have 2 special guest stars today. CicadaSound and AeonFlux. AeonFlux is running late, but he is rushing. He is rushing to be on the show. I think that it's a very exciting rushing that he's doing to be with us. What do you think, Cicada? Do you think he's probably like sprinting towards his Xbox?
He's just cruising in the car. He's
just hanging out. Like So we are going to be building a haha, or I might not be pronouncing that right. But while we are talking today, we're going to be making a haha in Minecraft, which is that is a type of wall that is not visible from inside the wall. And you'll see how we do it. It's going to be fantastic. So it's going to be so great. It's going to be so beautiful. From the outside, from the inside, you're not going to be able to tell that it's beautiful. But yeah, it'll be awesome.
Nice. I'm excited.
Yeah, Cicada. Yeah, I'm super excited. This is going to be a very productive thing. I'd like to leave this pond over here. if
All
we
right,
possibly can.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, if we can, I'd like to preserve as many natural features. Well, I say natural, as many of the procedurally generated features as possible. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
We can do some terraforming too. We can build some of it, you know.
so I'm
Some
gonna start
terraforming,
taking
some
off
trees.
the top layer, I think, with a shovel. This is, oh wow, this is so satisfying. So let's go ahead and head into our first talking point. Are you ready for that, Cicada?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
Are you sure you're ready?
I'm totally ready.
Convenient. So, oh yeah, let me go get the thing, and let me get the damn chat.
All right.
No, it's okay. Everything's fine. I'm totally prepared, like always. I'm always 100% prepared.
100%.
Talking points. Nice. Okay, so for our first talking point, we are going to talk about philosophy things. All of us, Aeon also, even though he's not here, we are all great philosopher guys, and we do the philosophies. Let me turn down the game audio. It's a little loud. So what sort of philosophy would you like to talk about?
Well, there's a couple, I suppose. Stoicism is one of the philosophies I think I know more about than a lot.
We should talk
But
about
I can
something.
talk about my experience with philosophy because I didn't get into it until recently.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. So how do you how did you get into philosophy? Like, what drove you to that?
So I'm a pretty curious person, but I wasn't very aware of philosophy, like formal philosophy, until I turned like maybe 19 years old. That was a few years ago. And I finally started to learn like formal philosophy. It was really important for me. I had a lot of spiritual beliefs at the time, and I considered them at this point. To be pretty irrational. And so I learned about like skepticism from like Rene Descartes, and I learned about Socrates, and about like how there was wisdom in admitting his ignorance.
Socrates is super cool. Just real quick, could you make it daytime? I'm trying to keep it day for the stream, just so everyone can see.
Yeah, no problem.
Nice. So if you could just do that every time it's night.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Socrates. Socrates is fantastic.
Yeah, so he's cool because he admitted his ignorance and he was like seen as wise because of that. Where a lot of people at the time, you know, thought themselves to be educated and very smart and knowing a lot of things.
A lot of people hated him.
Yeah, because he challenged them and he was like, you think you know the things you think you know, but you don't know them. And like he was wise for that. And they were more dogmatic in a sense, not as skeptical. So he was one of the first big skeptics.
Right.
And that influenced all of Western philosophy. And later on, there was also Rene Descartes, which was a big influence on me too. Which was realizing like doubt and beliefs.
Just with Socrates, real quick, I just wanted to comment that I think that sort of attitude, like the whole way that Socrates did stuff, is still, if you were to do that now, like generally it would be against society and people would dislike you, you for it. And if you were influential, like people would hate you for being like that. Which is interesting that so long after that, people are still not accepting of being open-minded like that. But anyway, on to Descartes.
So he's famous for like his radical skepticism, and I'm really interested in epistemology. That's like my primary interest in the different branches of philosophy. He sort of doubted as much as he possibly could, and he was trying to find an absolute truth. He sort of settled on this statement, "I think, therefore I am," as like an indisputable kind of, as like an absolute truth.
Well, he
like,
was wrong,
and there's no way to deny that. Is what his perspective.
Well, he was. I can totally deny that. I deny it. There you go, Descartes.
That was his perspective. Was like, if you think, you can't deny that you exist, or well, you can, but like do it. It's absolute proof that you exist. If you think, then if you're doubting, it's his primary thing, because he was doubting things. So if he knew he was doubting, you can't really trick yourself into doubting that you're doubting, because then you're doubting. You know.
I think that
so
you could. I
doubting.
think it's called nihilism.
Well, he knew he was doubting, right? And so because he was doubting, he was thinking, and because he was thinking, he existed. So there was nothing anything could do to trick him into thinking that he didn't exist. So that was his absolute truth.
That makes sense for him, I guess, as long as it works.
Yeah.
Could I have a diamond shovel, please?
Oh yeah.
Can I have 50,000 diamond shovels, please? Or just one is
Let's
fine.
see.
I'm too lazy to find it. Thank you. Yeah. So would you say you kind of agree with Descartes, though, that if you're thinking, then that's proof for your existence?
So I think it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. On a very philosophical level, though, I can't completely say that reality is real, is a thing. But I don't live like that. I assume that reality is the way of things. So, any other philosophers that you were into?
Well, so there's Stoicism. So there's Epictetus is one of the primary ones that I've understood the most. I read the Enchiridion, and I have a copy of it.
Oh, it's the book from Adventure Time.
Yeah, it's got the same name. It means manual in ancient Greek.
Did they get it from Adventure Time?
No. They get the other way around. But
so they say. So they claim.
Yeah. So basically, it's a manual for Stoics. So it's called the Enchiridion.
It's a super cool name.
It's called the manual. Yeah. And so it basically has like several sections, which it actually kind of reminds me of how the Tao Te Ching is kind of formatted, where it's got like sections that are like numbered, kind of. So it starts off, and he talks about things that are within your control and things that are not within your control.
Right.
So it says that like things that aren't in your control are like exterior things. So that includes the environment around you as well as even your body. So like sickness or death, like, are things you can't necessarily control. So basically, the idea is that if you allow yourself to be disrupted by things beyond your control, then you're bound to be like disrupted. So the Stoic attitude is to kind of sort of be detached from things that you can't control and not be upset by them, because if you can't do anything, then it's sort of like not really that useful, and it's causing more suffering, you know.
That makes sense. I've heard of this concept before. This plateau thing that we've picked is huge. That's fine.
Yep.
That's totally fine. We can build a huge haha. It sounds like a euphemism now that I say it.
That's what I said the first time you mentioned it.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
So yeah. I also do philosophy. Did you notice?
I think so.
Did you hear? I guess I have observed this. The way I do philosophy, I've read a couple philosophical books. Like I read The Republic by Plato a long time ago. And I've read a couple other things, like a bit of Kafka and, just various stuffs. But I haven't read as much philosophy as, like, other people who might consider themselves, philosophy. Or wait. Sir, wait, Cicada. This is the layer we're using right here.
Wait. No, we were gonna do it one layer deeper.
No, this is the layer.
You sure?
Yes. Look, I've cleared all the grass off of it.
Where do you want it to? Where do you want the thing to be?
All around the border of this. See where I've cleared the grass?
Make an outline.
See the grass where I've cleared the grass?
Yeah, right here.
I'm going to keep clearing grass, but this whole plane that we're on is going to be
in this kind of corner. So you want to fill this in right here?
We could. Yeah, that'd be great.
This flat.
But yeah. So but anyway, so my philosophy type deal is I just kind of do I do my own philosophy. Like I go and I think about things. And I come to conclusions about things. I don't really read too much, so my philosophy is kind of, some of it's my own. I'd say a lot of it's my own, because I'm definitely influenced by a lot of things that I read in my environment and all that, but I don't know. Sometimes people will say, oh, that sounds like this thing, and I'll be like, oh, I don't know what that is, when I say stuff. But I definitely, yeah, I definitely tried to be like Socrates, because he was a fucking badass, and I also like the idea that none of us really know anything, because we don't. The knowledge is infinite, and we haven't even. It's infinite.
Yeah, and that's why René Descartes even recognized that it was so hard to have an absolute truth. Like we don't really know anything truly. Like we know things in a certain kind of like predictive like sense. Like we know if we cook meat, then we can eat it. We know that. But there are certain absolute things that we don't like know about the universe.
Right. There's so much, like just an infinite amount. It's so yeah, I like the going with that you are stupid and so is everyone else, because that's ultimately what it is. And
it's humility.
I try to be humble, but as soon as you say I am humble, you are no longer humble. So I try not to claim that I'm humble, but I do aspire to be. In some aspects, I'm definitely arrogant in certain ways as well. But yeah. You said you like Socrates. He's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, it's
my
just
favorites for sure.
Fuck yeah, he's like one of the coolest people ever. He seemed like I would have loved to have talked with him, because he seemed like the chillest guy ever, unless you're a dick. And then he's going to be like, well, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. But he'll do it in like a really, really eloquent way that you can't possibly refute.
and his dialogue, about Socratic Dialogue?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love Socratic Dialogue. It's like you basically make the person question themselves. You ask them questions, and then they contradict themselves without you having to do anything.
And then
you
you
can
go
just continually ask questions, no statements yourself, and then they question it because of what they say.
And then you go, ha! You contradicted yourself, you fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I do it.
Right. That's how I do it.
It's always great to call someone an idiot. So yeah, Socrates is super cool. Man, the whole second talking point involved Aeon, but if he's not here,
I think I just got a text.
we can save the second talking point for later.
He said 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. Fashionably late. That's fine. We could talk about philosophy for a little bit more. Or we could move on to the third talking point. Yeah, we'll just wait for him. And just talk about philosophy. I can talk about philosophy for hours, so it's not a difficult thing.
You want to you think this platform is set now? The build?
Yeah, well, why don't we start working on the wall? But it's all of this plane here, so I'll have to think about what I want to do. I don't think we'll finish, because it's a huge plane. So this layer needs to come off here.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But it just pretty much, yeah, we could finish, or we could actually start building the wall if we don't need to work on the whole thing, but just so we can start seeing what the wall looks like.
Okay.
This pond will probably, I think we can just leave this pond here, actually, and just have it.
Yeah, I like the ponds. We could probably keep them inside of the walls.
Yes, that'll be fantastic. And we can have, like, a little, it'll be like the fish ponds.
Yeah.
Have you, I've been to Switzerland a couple times, and, like, monasteries there, would have, oh yeah, it's great. I'm a Swiss citizen. I forget if I've told you that.
Oh.
I have dual citizenship. Cool. But, like, the old monasteries there would have, like, essentially fish hatcheries, but I think there's another name for it. But they would have ponds that they would just stock with fish, so they could have fish whenever they needed them, you know? Which is just such a cool idea. I'd like to do that when I build my house someday, and build a haha for the house. I might not build the haha, but that would be cool. You know, I'd actually like to start. I'm gonna go over to the other side, away from this plane over here, and I'm gonna start working on the wall so we can actually start seeing what it's gonna look like.
I can help you out. I want to take a look.
So anyway, philosophy stuff. We still need to talk about it for exactly 5 minutes. Go.
Right. Philosophy.
Yeah.
We don't know things we think we know.
Oh, it's just... Are you saying that they're known unknowns?
There's unknown unknowns.
Unknown unknowns. That's from the Boondocks. Did you see that episode?
Oh, no, I haven't. People tell me I should watch that.
It's a pretty funny show. I feel it's a little racist at times.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of...
I haven't watched it, but yeah. Maybe that's why.
It has a lot of, like, really funny shit in there as well.
Yeah.
And valid points about society. I just think that it's a little antagonistic towards white people, which I think is not good.
That's fair. I haven't seen much of it.
But yeah, philosophy. Have you read any Kafka?
No, I haven't.
You should.
Yeah. I've read like some little bits of like the Tao Te Ching.
What's that?
It's the Taoist. It's a Taoist text.
Oh,
like Taoism of Eastern philosophy.
My Yo, who he jumped in the he on the episode, he was special guest star, episode 12. We talked about Taoism.
Yeah, Taoism's great. I love Taoism.
Nice.
It has influences in like martial arts, which is really cool. Because I learned martial arts when I was younger, and it's just, I don't know, I just really like it. It's really cool. There's philosophies that go with martial arts. You know, martial arts aren't just like learn how to fight, right? There's different terms. Like there's jutsu, which basically means like fighting, kind of like technique. And like Do is like Tao. It has the same root as the Tao and Taoism, which has to do with like the way, or basically the philosophy. So like you see martial arts that end with like Do, like judo or aikido, and they're like really philosophy centric sort of martial art styles.
And all
like
these
aikido.
all these people doing like UFC fights and all that is totally against the principles of like many types of martial art.
To a degree. I mean, there's a degree where it is, but like they're not actually using it as like an aggressive form of violence in a bad way, because it's just for sport. Like it would be one thing if they were using that to like harm people in a negative way, but they're doing it for an entertainment purpose,
I meant more on the commercialistic aspect of it. I just would think that that'd be it's a very materialistic thing.
Yeah.
Rather than, I would think that a lot of the martial art philosophy would be, you don't do martial arts for other people, you do it for yourself, and UFC is all about the spectator aspect of it. Yeah. I just don't like.
There's got to be varying degrees of like how a sensei teaches you and how you learn your martial art. You know, certainly there's more respect for it in certain teachers. You know, and some of them are obviously just teaching you for money. You know.
Yeah, I don't like spectator sports.
I don't too much either. Like I prefer video game spectator sports.
I don't even like watching people play video games. Like I would not watch my own podcast because I don't watch podcasts.
I used to watch my brother play video games when I was younger. So even before there was YouTube, I was watching people play video games.
Well, sometimes I'll watch like a friend stream on Discord. But yeah, anyway, in conclusion, UFC sucks. Philosophy.
I don't. No, UFC is the gray area.
No. I mean, you are of course entitled to your own opinion, but you would be wrong if you disagreed with me.
Right.
Man, there's so much digging for this. Here, I'm gonna start. Let's get this layer a bit back
right now.
Nice. Man, I love Minecraft so much.
Yeah, me too. I'm telling him to join the call. I think he said he just got to this house.
Nice.
He said he's about to join.
Well, it will be so great. Okay, so so philosophy, right? What about philosophy?
Yeah. So we're generally ignorant, and we don't really know that much. We just have a sort of prediction of how true things are. But maybe there are absolute truths. Maybe there aren't. Some people think there are. Some people think there aren't. And that's sort of mostly in the realm of epistemology, which I'm the most interested in.
Nice. There could be absolute truths, but I don't think that there are. But I couldn't say that with a certainty because I don't know.
Yep. Right. That's fair.
Anyway, here's what it looks like. Check it out.
Like it.
Yeah, it's
nice.
Yeah. The smooth stone was a good choice.
It reminds me of like a dam, you know.
A dam? That's not quite the aesthetic.
The stone wall.
It's not quite
stone wall that
I was not quite going for concrete.
Yeah, concrete, solid.
I think that it's beautiful and not reminiscent. It looks like stone and not concrete.
Yeah. This is okay. So this is more like Stonehenge, like massive
Yes,
blocks.
I like stone. I like Stonehenge.
Okay.
I guess I could have gone with a mossy stone as well. We could. We don't have to do this solid thing for the whole wall. We might be able to like go for like the mossy stone for part of it or something. But anyway, check it out. So come stand over here. So this is the purpose of it, is that it gives you an unbroken view of the landscape. But you have a wall there, so we're protected from creepers and such. What would be best is to do I don't really want to do this. What's up? Okay. I was thinking about doing something else for the border. I'm not a huge fan of this look. It's a bit of a vomit green.
Doesn't blend in.
No.
Not quite the right color.
I don't like the border though, but I was thinking maybe we could do like some tiling or something and do something cool, like some sort of take out a couple blocks and put some sort of like decoration. Some sort of decorative block like right here. Like we'd put like a decorative layer and then make it look kind of smooth rather than kind of blocky like it is now.
What do you think? What do you think about? Okay, so like push it like another layer back. You mean this?
Yeah. Well, let's not worry about it right now. Oh no. I was thinking about using a different type of block than the stone block.
What if we see all these corners? We could do that. Make it look a little bit less sharp.
Yeah, that would be good. And then I'd like to do another border around the entire border. But we don't need to worry about that right now. But just to make it beautiful.
Looks nice.
It does. So, is Aeon ever going to join us? He's only half an hour late.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he was about to.
Hooray.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'd like to keep talking about philosophy, but I wanted to move on to the next talking point. And,
yeah, I'm just trying to message him.
Well, why don't we go ahead and do the third talking point now? Because I feel like I've delayed for long enough. So let's just, and we can go talk about the parenting thing when he's here. But I would like to, be talking about things instead of just playing Minecraft. So, you are very knowledgeable about it. Aeon is too, so hopefully he'll be able to talk about it as well.
Yeah,
That'll be great.
Let's talk about Elder Scrolls. I love it.
Yes. Okay. So tell me, what is some stuff? Okay. So we're going to speak of the lore of Nirn, the world in which the Elder Scroll games take place. That's it. Nirn is the planet. So tell me some stuff. Yes. Could you make it daytime, please?
Yeah. Flash time. Set day.
Weather. So tell me about what's your favorite Elder Scrolls game?
Well, I've actually only played Skyrim.
Really?
Yes, I've never played Oblivion. Well, I mean, I've played it like once, but I've never like played through it. Like I started it, like, and I went through like the beginning, and then I exited the beginning part, and then I didn't know what to do, and then I stopped. So I didn't really play either of the games. I've played Skyrim. I've beaten it like fully, like maybe once. I've remade a character on Skyrim countless times, so I've got a lot of experience with it in the base game, and I even modded it. But I try to keep all of my mods within lore-friendly stuff, anyways.
Right.
Um,
But
but
there's so much lore to cover. What did you
yeah,
want to talk about?
yeah.
Any aspect of it specifically?
Well, there's so much to cover. Well, so one thing to know is that like there's a lot of books in the game Skyrim at least, and there's a lot of different sources for information, and not all of them are the same. So like you get different perspectives for things, especially in different cultures, you know. So like there's like essentially there's only the same gods, like there's the same Aedra and Daedra and the same, like it's one place. But then like different cultures have different names for like the same gods, kind of like, you know, kind of like how it is in some cultures like the Greek gods and the Roman gods, how like they're basically the same but they have different names. That's kind
Right.
of how it is. So like they have the same gods more or less, and they worship different ones, you know. So like the men are more worshiping like the Aedra as the creators, you know. And there's just a lot of divergence with that with gods and worship in the
Aeon, is it you?
Yeah, hey,
He's here.
sorry I'm late.
It's okay. What's up, buddy? We're gonna go ahead and talk about the lore of Elder Scrolls and all that, and then we'll go back to the parenting talking point. Welcome to the show. Oh, by the way, everybody, since we're halfway into the show, I will say that this is episode 14 of DWACAAM, which I forgot to say at the beginning of the episode. So there you go. Aeon, you've also played video game, right?
Yes, quite a few.
But specifically the Elder Scrolls. Skyrim.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I grew up with Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim.
Nice.
Daggerfall too, I just don't remember it much.
I never played that one.
Yeah, it's old. It's kind of hard to look at now.
So Cicada, Aeon, please tell me about the lore. What's this? Come on.
Yeah, so let's talk about dragon breaks real quick. I think that's an important thing to mention. I was just talking about how there's like so many different sources of information in the game, and how there's different cultures. And I didn't mention the dragon breaks yet because I'm pretty sure you understand it better than I do.
Oh, I don't understand it. What are those?
Oh, him.
You know, the thing with Dragon Breaks is you're not really supposed to understand them. That's kind of the point. They're like, it's honestly, it's just an excuse for the developers to go back on their mistakes, but it's written into the lore so that it makes sense. Essentially, it's just supposed to be like every cataclysmic event that's ever happened in any of the games has then later encountered a dragon break. So like there's no canon. There's nothing canonical. So like in Morrowind, the Nerevarine, I never know how to pronounce that shit. The Nerevarine, whatever. Everybody thinks canonically is a Dwemer. Every race claims that they were an orc, whatever. The answer is that there's no way to know because the player made that decision, and considering the player made the decision of what race to play, the dragon break happens right afterwards, which means that when you get to Oblivion and you read about the Nerevarine, there's not really any like known.
This is
getting
a bit esoteric for me because you're losing
a little bit.
You're losing me.
Clear it up a little bit because he's going into terms like Dwemer and other things that aren't understood yet. But so a dragon break, one of the reasons why the dragon breaks are relevant to this is because dragons are relevant to time. So you can think of it as a time break. So the dragon is related to the dragon is related to one of the two main gods of the universe. Basically, in the beginning of the universe, I explained this to Socratic Dialogue before, not on stream, but basically at the beginning of the universe, there's like these two energies which make their own souls, which make their own god bodies, right? So the dragon is associated with time. Those are associated with one of those two gods. So a dragon break is associated with one of those two gods, which is related to the origin of, I would assume, time primarily.
That's why Akatosh takes the form of a dragon, because he's the god of time.
Right.
Ooh.
So Akatosh, the god of time, takes the form of a dragon. So a dragon break is related to him.
So is he an Aedra?
Yes.
He isn't even an Aedra. He's kind of considered an Aedra, but he's more so just not even in the same category. He's like Lorcan. He's like one of the
they
two
get away
primordial.
with. See, the Aedra in the story might not even really exist. They don't really throughout the games. They don't really show up in any physical forms except for Oblivion, where Akatosh legitimately shows up to fight off Megrune's Dagon. And that's the first time that like you ever see an Aedra, but they didn't want the confirmation that Aedra actually exists to be so like set in stone. So they rewrit it as Akatosh isn't actually one of the Aedra, but he's in the same league kind of thing. But the rest of the Aedra, they might not even exist. There's no actual physical like representation of them.
Yeah.
There's no encounters.
What about the blessings though?
That's see, like that can be written off as just like video game logic usually, but that's most people's argument. They're like, well, how?
I don't look at it at all as logic. Like, you got to look at it from the perspective of lore. If it's a good game that's like lore
But like
based.
also like think about belief systems in real life. Like if you believe truly that you've been blessed by your God and you're gonna have a better life, then you probably will. You know.
But would you get a buff?
The Aedra
Would you get a buff to healing?
You'd probably
right.
get a buff to
Your
some
health.
stats in your head. You know, maybe you'd be a bit more calm, more stoic, more.
But there's an
intelligent.
argument to be made that the Aedra are part of the physical universe that you are, and so maybe there's just a connection you have inherently with the Aedra.
I
I
see.
mean, it's entirely possible. I'm not
There's a
saying
lot
that
of
they don't
magical,
exist.
mystical
I'm
things that
just
go
saying
on
that
in the
they like
universe.
to
So.
make it obscure. You know?
Right.
The days
It's
of
obscure, and there's a
Death
lot of theorizing, but like there's a lot of stuff that could make sense. So like you said that what's his name, Akatosh is the only Aedra that's seen, but also happens to be the only Aedra that's associated with like the origin of the entire universe, like Lorcan. And they both stand out. Like, would you consider Lorcan a Daedra?
Well,
Like, it's kind of like a gray
let's
area.
let's
just
kind
below
of like,
Daedra, right?
could we kind of move it to something a bit more accessible, as far as, because this is a very specific conversation, and I don't think we even properly defined Aedra. But for anyone who is listening who doesn't know anything about Elder Scrolls, I'd like them to be able to understand what we're talking about. So how about could you guys tell me about the Dwemer? That was always an interesting.
I could do that.
Yes, please. Let's talk about the Dwemer.
Dragon breaks are relevant to that, so it's a good thing we mentioned that.
Yes, very important. So, what are the Dwemer in the Elder Scrolls universe?
They're elves. So for first and foremost. So to understand the Dwemer, the very simple thing. I'm not going to go too far into this for the sake of time. We know that the different elves in the Elder Scrolls right now, the Wood Elves, the High Elves, the Dark Elves, are also known as the Bosmer, the Ultimer, and the Dunmer. Before they existed, they had ancestors. There was the Chimer, there was the
Wait, no. So, what was
obviously the
rather than like
Dwemer.
their whole lineage? Could you just tell me about like what their culture was and like what
the
they?
Dwemer were basically the predecessors to the Bosmer and the Ultimer, is all I was going to say, the Aldemer. But they were around, and they were supremely like magic. Like they were in tune to magic to the fullest extent, even more so than the Ultimer are, and they're known for being the magic elves.
Well,
but
actually,
they
so
rejected it.
there's Aeon. Could you try not to use any words that people who are not versed in Elder Scrolls lore wouldn't know?
Okay.
So
Yeah, let me
very
summarize
magic,
it
and they
then,
reject magic
because
for
he has a
technology
very
and
deep understanding of all of it. I have a more like basic understanding because I'm more of a noob who's only played Skyrim.
right. I was just trying to go for a
basically-
real accessibility because I vaguely recall Bosmer or Wood Elves, but somebody listening might not know that.
Yeah.
So the Dwemer, they're masters in magic, like he said, but especially a unique kind of magic, which is related to the dragons, right? So we mentioned the dragon breaks. Basically, the dragons can like shout. So like you might be aware of Fusro Da, right? How they do that thing, they shout. That's related to the dragons as well, and they are just masters of that unique kind of magic that's related to the dragons. Other races didn't figure that out very well.
The Dwemer got that magic. Is that
Yeah.
how they power? Like, because they have like a bunch of mechanical devices and stuff.
Yeah,
No, actually,
they're
that's what I
masters
was gonna
of
say.
machine magic too. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say, actually. They were supremely magic, but they rejected magic because they wanted to find a way to get to the level of basically power that they were at in magic with technology and science. And in doing so, ended up creating this strange mix between like mechanical engineering and magic. And they would often experiment with those things intertwined, and that's what led to their extinction as well.
What happened to him? Like, why did they go extinct? So, if anyone doesn't know, the Dwemer are no longer around in the Elder
Yeah, and
Scrolls
that's-
games. You
You
find
only ever
their
meet one.
you find their ruins.
You meet one in Morrowind.
Right.
In the new Elder Scrolls Online game, I think you meet one maybe.
So what?
Believe
Why?
it,
How did
yeah.
they go
Played that one.
extinct? How did they go extinct?
So it's really good that Cicada mentioned Lorcan a minute ago. The reason that they went extinct was because they were immensely obsessed with the idea of Lorcan. Lorcan is the reason for the universe. The whole universe takes place inside of Lorcan, supposedly. He gave up his body to be Nirn, or not Nirn, to be Ethereus,
Mundus.
the
Is
universe.
that's the
Mundus.
dragon?
Mundus.
That's the dragon
The
time god.
physical realm.
No,
No.
that's,
That's the dragon. The dragon time god is Akatosh, and Lorcan is maybe more of like a space god. Because what he did was he created the physical realm, which is
He's above
Mundus,
all.
like the solar system,
Basically.
Mundus, like space, and then Nirn is
basically
the
God,
planet
like the
within
universe.
Mundus.
Okay.
And they were obsessed with him, and they believed that they had encountered something called the Heart of Lorcan, and it was believed to be the heart of the sleeping god. And obviously, it's so powerful you could never even imagine touching, let alone looking at it or doing anything to it. It was so like beyond their comprehension. They decided, using magic and science, that they would create these tools. They have a bunch of different tools that you can find throughout the game. A special type of dagger that you could use to kind of poke it. There's a glove you can wear to make sure that you don't directly touch it. And then there was one other piece. I can't really remember what it was right now, but there's 3 main artifacts that they used, essentially. And
To touch this
tampering
heart?
with the heart. Yeah, and in tampering with this heart of Lorcan, they just all of a sudden, all of them vanished without a trace, and there's no explanation as to why.
Because they had to do science. They're like, let's go do science on this thing, and it's and then
you know,
reason for the universe.
and then
Like
it
we
fucked
mentioned
them
before,
up.
the dragon breaks, right? So they had that understanding of the technology and the magic related to dragons. So the prevailing theory that is actually pretty supported by the lore is that they messed with the technology and they warped themselves through time. They
that's
they
one of the
either
very
ended in
popular
another
theories.
place or in another like dimension.
Oh
So
damn!
they basically removed themselves from the physical realm.
Some believe that they had surpassed physical form as well, that they had become part of Aetherius in doing so, like accidentally. There's so many theories, but there's no proof. There's no way to really know, except there's one hint in
There's
Skyrim.
a lot of points of evidence.
There's one tiny hint in Skyrim that they do still exist, and that is Phalion in Morthal, a town in Skyrim that's known to be plagued by like supernatural shit like vampires and swamp monsters and things. Phalion is obsessed with dark magic, things like that, and he's still generally a good person. He's just obsessed with that type of stuff. And he claims that he's met Daedra, he's met Dwemer, he's met all kinds of things that you could never even imagine existing, and he's been to places that don't even really exist. And when he mentions this, he very specifically says Dwemer, and if you've met a Dwemer before in Morrowind, then you know that the only reason that you met that Dwemer was because he happened to be working with something. Now, this Dwemer was very fat, and he didn't have a lower body. The lower half of his body was mechanical spider legs. But he wasn't actually real anymore. He was in a different plane of existence when the Dwemer disappeared, and because of that, he was unaffected. So he came back and was immediately hit with like a disease that made it so he was like a walking corpse. He might as well have been a zombie, and it was slowly deteriorating him from the outside. It already took his legs. That's why he was like
that's
that.
super cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and he's kind of cynical when you meet him. He doesn't give you any information. Like, you're so curious. You're like, holy shit, dude, you're a Dwemer. Please tell me things. And he's like, no, leave me alone. I just want to die. And it's sad, but it's all these little pieces of information you get from playing across the games and meeting them. The only time you'll ever really meet a Dwemer, like canonically, is in Morrowind. But there's obviously tons of mods and shit out there of people.
The new Elder Scrolls Online game.
I
Which is a
actually
little
haven't
different.
played really into that enough to know if
I remember I was watching a lore video that mentioned that you saw Dwemers in Elder Scrolls Online. There's a quest
I
about it.
thought that ESO was like non-canon to like the
Yeah,
rest.
it could be. It could be. I'm not
I know
certain.
that it takes place a long time before any of the actual games. Like a good I think it was 15,000 years before any of the games.
Did they ever explain why the tech level like pretty much stays the same throughout thousands
I think
of
it's
years?
because magic is so like more important than technology. I think is why. Because they had magic. What was the point of technology? I think.
Well, they
I could
use.
be wrong.
I don't know. It seems like they could definitely use a lot more technology, like guns, for instance.
Why have a gun when you can just blast someone with a fireball?
But plenty of people only use technology. Like a warrior would only use a sword. So not everyone's capable of magic. So there's, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're using magic for every want that they possibly could have. There's still a lot of regular technology in that world.
You're right. Despite popular opinion, how you can start Skyrim and always know at least one or two magical spells, that is true. Not everybody can use magic. Quite a few Nords that don't have any elven blood in their lineage at all can't use magic, and that's usually leads to why they're so against it.
It's interesting.
But your Dragonborn, whether he's a Nord or not, in Skyrim can always use.
So,
in my opinion, Skyrim is just like a really watered down version of this like really rich and amazing lore that they had. And when they made Skyrim, they just kind of threw a lot of those little like points out the window for the sake of gameplay.
Yeah, but that's
become my favorite.
Why didn't they have the gameplay and the super awesome lore? I mean,
that's
there is
Morrowind and Oblivion were like. That's why they're my favorite over Skyrim always.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never even played them.
Oblivion is the best Elder Scrolls game, and I'll die on that.
Yes, well, definitely. Should someone challenge you to a duel of, on like, no, I like Skyrim, and you're like, no, I like Oblivion, and then you would have to battle with that person.
Fight to the death.
Yes, a fight to the death.
I like that the protagonist of Oblivion becomes the Daedric god in Skyrim. That's
I didn't realize that. I guess I just kind of missed that.
Yeah, it was a DLC, so some people might have missed it. You go meet Sheogorath, the god of madness, and then you become him. So the Sheogorath that you meet in Skyrim is actually your character from Oblivion, and it's further supported by the fact that the character in Skyrim, Sheogorath, says things that he did things that the character in Oblivion did.
Wow. Well, so I'd actually like to go and move to our second talking point, because we have about 10 minutes left. As much as I would like to keep talking about the lore of Elder Scrolls, we should talk about that thing. The thing that we were going to talk about. Are you guys ready for that?
Yeah, what was it? You said...
Oh, here, listen to how I've written this. It's fantastic. We're going to talk about the various subtleties of parenting. Aeon is an actual parent. Cicada and myself aspire to be such. Wow, beautiful. Fucking beautiful. Whoever wrote that is a fucking genius. Aeon, please take it away. What's being a parent like?
It's, I don't know, I guess it's just it's really cool. It feels like if I hadn't done it, I wouldn't have experienced life to the fullest extent, and I never would have thought that way before it happened. But if I were to just grow old and die and never have children, I wouldn't even know that I was missing out on something really important to understanding life and yourself and maturing and things. I was really young. I was 18 when my kid was born, 17 when I found out I was going to be a father. And so it was scary and stressful, and a lot of things affected me on a mental level. And it was scary for both of us, but at the end of the day, we just decided, you know what, we're going to do it. It's fine. We'll have a kid. And I just had a daughter, and it just happened, It doesn't really change anything. It just becomes an extension of yourself all of a sudden. It's like you take a piece of yourself, and now it's in the real world, and walking around and doing things, and you're just watching it all the time. It's really fucking cool, man. That's all I gotta say. I mean, I'm 22 today, and
happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Everybody
Yeah.
on DWACAAM, it's Aeon's birthday. Happy birthday. Sorry, keep going.
That's also why I was late. I'm sorry about that. But
It's
yeah, thank you
okay.
very much. Yeah, I today I'm 22 and I had it when I was 18, and I used to say it was the best worst thing that ever happened to me, but now it's definitely the best thing that ever happened to me, because
Fantastic.
you take some time and it's scary at first, but you get your shit together one way or another, whether you like it or not. It happens because there's a new reason to.
I hear that the teenage years suck. Or they can. I was a little shit of a teenager, so.
I'll let you know when I get to that point.
Yeah, just give me a heads up. Hopefully I have a kid or two at that point.
Yeah.
That is the plan. Yeah, so I aspire to have children, because I think that that would be a good thing, in my life. I would like to have kids. I'd kind of like to get my my degree in engineering before I do that, and also finding a wife is also important for that.
Yeah.
But that's I'll figure it out. I'm sure someone will stumble upon me and be like, "Oh, you seem like a good mother type person." So anyway, Cicada, you also aspire to have children, right?
Yeah. I think it's sort of an important responsibility for humans. I know not everybody should have kids, but I think it's a contribution to society on a certain level. I think it helps the world if you raise kids the right way and you make good people.
Yep.
And you contribute to the future by doing that.
Yep. I don't really see it as a responsibility to society. It's my life. I think that it would make me happy, so that's why I do it. Although I do want to make the world a better place, but that's not why I would want.
I feel like there's just sort of unrelated, but I just feel like a degree of responsibility to the world because it's given us opportunities in life.
I have
the world is a great place.
I have no gratitude towards the world. It is indifferent to me.
It's fine.
I agree.
But
I feel differently. I just think that it's a great place,
To society, not so much the world, but
just more of an optimist, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely optimistic. I can be optimistic in some ways. I think that we can make the world a better place. I think that we should make the world a better place. I just don't.
That's kind of what I mean. I think we should do it, and that's what I mean by it being a responsibility. In that degree.
Right.
The people that can, the people that want to, they should.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's a really good thing. I'm not ready for it yet, but I just think it's a really fulfilling thing to imagine having kids and all the things that I've learned in my life and all the wisdom that I've gained and being able to give that to a kid and raise them really, really well, better than I was, and giving them opportunities, all that. It just feels like it's like a purpose, like it's a responsibility. Yeah, and it's like a necessary thing, I think.
For me, the reason I envy it is because I yes, that is me to an extent. I know things so I can impart them onto her, but as for growing up, maturing, and gaining wisdom and learning things, I kind of figure it out as I go along and just pass it on to her as I go along. So it's kind of like I'm doing it at the same time as her, I feel like I learn new things.
I want to feel like I'm not doing that as much as I can. That's why I want to wait. 'Cause I was kind of raised like that, so I don't want to raise my kid like that.
Yeah, there are mistakes. My parents did some things well, but there are mistakes that they made that I will try to not make. Cicada, check out our wall. It's so cool.
Yeah, it looks nice. I like it.
Look at it from up top. It looks really cool.
Yeah. We gotta smooth out the edges on this.
Yeah.
How do I watch the stream?
Oh, it's on Twitch. I'll put it up on YouTube later, but it's almost done. So I will send you the I'll send you the link to the to it on the YouTube when it goes up, and then you can also promote it to everyone that you know. and
Okay.
like any deer that you might see, they also need to follow me on Twitch, and then
I
also
think I know a couple people that'll probably be into it.
nice. Yeah, that'd be great. Like, it's a really small viewership. I really like people to watch it live too, because generally, I've been trying to reach out to the chat and say, hey, what do you want me to talk about? Or like if they had a question for any of us, or if just if they wanted us to talk about a particular topic. But just my viewership when it's live is so low, which is unfortunate. But that's partially my fault, because I just I don't put in the effort to market it, which I should. I mean, my marketing is when I get drunk and then I go into random Discords and say, "Hey guys, you should watch my podcast," and I get varying responses from that. Usually, people are like, "You're drunk."
You should advertise yourself to the trucker community, because I found out that a lot of truckers listen to podcasts. In fact, they make up like the majority of fan bases sometimes.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and like it's a weird thought, because I've always, like, the mental image I've always had of like a trucker is like some guy, in their like 40s, who's like, like a boomer type, not an actual baby boomer, but the generation that we call boomers. Like, that's what I think of as a truck driver. But like, people my age are truck drivers now, which is crazy to think about. It's crazy getting older and thinking about like all these people that I've always thought of like adults. I'm actually approaching that age of the
segue into parenting.
Yeah, and it's
the new
just
generation of people.
It's a weird feeling getting older, and my I haven't even started to feel it yet. But I don't look forward to that. Hopefully, I can maintain my athleticism for some time. But eventually that will go. But I want a powered exoskeleton when I'm old and weak. That's what I want. They need to have gotten those.
Deal.
Can you make it day once more, Cicada?
Yep.
This haha is going well. I really like the look of it. I've never done one of these on this scale, but it's going to be so cool when it's finished.
Yeah.
It's
At first I thought it was going to be like a perfect square. That's why I was being like kind of particular with the parts we were like shoveling at the beginning there.
Oh yeah,
but
that
looks
was
really nice. I like how it looks like more organic like this.
Right, it just follows the natural,
natural,
the procedurally generated curve of the land here. But yeah, Aeon, we're gonna play a bit more. So we could continue to work on this actually after the show. But Aeon, aren't you able to? You could play with us, right?
Possibly. I'm at my mom's house right now. It's just for dinner tonight, and then going back home. If you guys are still on that time, then I'll probably try to do it. Yeah.
Nice. Well, anyway, it's 1 o'clock. It's been an hour, so that's I don't know. Did you guys? Did either of you have anything that you'd like to promote? Because I'll also include that. Include that in the YouTube description. So do you have like what would you like to promote?
So I've got a Twitch and I've got a YouTube. They're
Holy
my
shit.
primary platforms. I've got Twitch. They're both CicadaSound with no space, capital C, capital S. I'm also on some social medias like Twitch or Twitter.
The
Facebook.
Twitter. And the Facebook.
I also have an Instagram. I just made them all. They're not very popular yet because I don't have many viewers, but I have them all set. So you can follow me on all those if you'd like, and I will post updates there every once in a while.
I need to do that too, but I'm not going to interact with Facebook ever.
Yeah. So you can just find me on my platforms, YouTube and Twitch, and then you can see everything else linked there.
Yes, and all of those links will be in the YouTube description thing.
All right. Awesome.
All of those. Aeon, do you have anything that you would like to promote?
I don't really have a lot of stuff. I have a Twitch. It's just my username on here with an underscore at the end. I usually
Nice.
just stream a couple of video games, but I have a YouTube, but it's my actual name, and it's not. It's music related. It's not video game related. But I'll probably make a YouTube soon with my actual username.
Right. Yeah, that'd be awesome, and I can always update the YouTube description for this later, and include that. But if you both could direct message me those links that you'd like me to put in the video, please do so.
All right.
But anyway, just like since we're promoting things, I figure I might as well take this opportunity to promote something. Yeah, guys, if humanity, could you guys like be kinder to each other and stop being dicks, guys? I'm looking at you, China.
Them.
No, I wish that we could find a way to promote kindness in our society. It's just a very difficult thing because people who are kind they're not aggressive, and you need to be aggressive to promote a way of thinking. So it's pretty rare that you get someone who's kind who can also promote kindness. Well, I mean, they promote kindness in a way, but I mean, as far as like trying to change things. But anyway, great show, guys. Thanks for being on the show. Would you like to say goodbye to the people?
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Just say
farewell.
Okay, yeah,
Good day.
just go ahead and wave to the audience, guys.
Here's,
I'm waiting, trust me.
You're waving.
I'm over here.
You're waving goodbye. You're waving goodbye. It's not like, hey, I'm over here. You're waving goodbye
No,
to.
look, I'm right here on screen. Bye.
Oh, okay. Are you waving, Aeon?
Yeah, I'm waving.
Awesome. Keep waving. I have to end the stream. You got to keep waving.
All right.
Keep
bye.
waving.